Hi, Bayo. This is Micah, guys. Thank you for being here. This is the woman we're going to be talking about. Only 30 years old. Hi, Judy. Hi, Scout. Okay. I don't know if she has more things. Namaste, everybody. Zen Zebras, Bella Butterflies. Hi, Scout. Hi, Judy Bullock. Hi, Bayo. You're the first one. Eileen Root. As everybody's coming in, I just wanted to show you who this person is, who she was. Hi, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, for being here. Thank you guys for being here. I know you're getting your drink on, and I hopefully Chuck got another drink. Thank you, Chuck and Eileen and Chuck. A coffee from the spot. Okay, I am on Cheeto, Pepla, Running Out. I subscribe to them. I don't know if they have more videos of her, but I just wanted to show you guys how she was a beautiful person and a beautiful singer. And she's no more on this earth. And I want to try to figure it out. Thank you, Bayo. Yes, Scout, we're trying to have a good Saturday. I don't really want to do this, but I have to do it for her. Because she's a good person. You go, Micah. Go, Micah, go, Micah. Woo! Okay. So, boys and girls, girls and boys. I really don't want to show you me because I am a dog. Right? This is no makeup, so I don't like that. But I am drinking from my Ireland cup today. This is, I think, my second or third cup. Look how beautiful. And there's like writing inside here. I don't know if you can see it, but look how beautiful. Cheers, everybody. Later on, it's gonna be wine time. Okay, anyhow, but that's why I got to get my work done now. All right, so I promise I'm not going to really bombard you with music in the background. And I asked why, because she loves music. Micah loves music. When I was channeling her, I was getting a lot of psychic downloads, right? That's why I made this card up. And when I write, every time I write her name down, Micah Francis Miller, I was getting a lot. So I'm going to be taking after 14 people in the house. Yay! I got to do more lives, whether they're at night or during the day, but I got to do more lives. So what I said, Micah, you don't want me to have the music in the background, like third eye music? It helps me. And she goes, you don't need that help. You don't need that help. But she did appreciate that I found her music, and it didn't take me long. All I put it in was Micah Miller singing. Micah Miller singing, and that came up. And there is another song that she sang that is so sweet. I don't know if it's on Facebook. It's probably on Facebook. But I wanted to jump on because I was already late. So, anyhow, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Travis. Cheers. Cheers, Travis. Cheers, anybody who's here. Scout, I love to see you. Forever Bella Butterfly, thank you for being here. My wrenches are here. Bayo and Forever Bella Butterfly, and I think Tracy and maybe Ruby might be working in the house today. But maybe Kim and Tammy will be here too as well. Okay, we'll see. If not, you could just catch the replay. Cheers, everybody. Isn't this a gorgeous cup? I am drinking out of this cup I made. It's Ireland, right? And I'm missing Ireland. And I didn't think this would happen to me. I'm missing, like, I wish that I could be in that house again with my kids and I wake up and go to sleep and they're there. I miss it. I mean, we didn't do a million things, and I missed one of the things that, the castle thing. But anyhow, I have my memories in my head, and I have my videos. I could always put my videos from YouTube on TV and watch them, because that makes it bigger. Anyhow, so we're going to talk about Micah Miller. And sometimes I might get not talk in the chat, and that just means that something is coming in I'm trying to hear. But I'm going to start with my reading of my notes first. And this is a picture. This is a picture. I have my candle. Oh, why am I showing that? I have my candle from Judy right over here with Caitlin's initials on it. Also, I have Judy on it. Okay. I love this candle. And I have this picture. And I always ask now, this is my new thing, where I ask the person I'm going to channel for, which painting do you want me to put down here? Because I had the angels for the longest time. When I was going to do the angels, I was going to do Micah Miller, Micah Francis Miller, and I had that angel thing sitting here for a while. So she said, yeah, you could have the angels. I did see the angels when I went over to heaven, and they helped me a lot. Different times in my life, she's saying that she passed away, almost passed away. Like she went through the tunnel halfway. I don't know if it was drug overdose, somebody poisoned her, somebody choked her, but she said she went through the tunnel. And so she said, this time, I'm going to explain what I get, and I can only give you what I get, like psychically. My psychic download, I own it. Okay? Can I be wrong? Yes, I could be wrong, but I'm going to give you what I got, what I think is the truth. Okay? But first, I always do my notes. But she told me, yeah, you can have the angels. You could show them the angels because I saw them and I see them. She goes, but show this one. And I said, really? This is my sovereignty picture. And I said, why? Because you look like her? And she was like, yeah, I wish. She goes, but I do. When I became powerful. She goes, because this picture is sovereignty. Let me read it to you, because I also put her name on it. It's already renamed. It's the Sassy Sovereign. See? I don't lie to you guys. The Sassy Sovereign. And it was made in December 2023. And I wrote Micah Francis down there. You know why? She deserves it. She deserves it. Look at those eyes. Okay. She says, I like being a brunette, Katrina. She goes, I did go blonde, and a certain person told me I look better as a blonde. But she goes, I like being a brunette. She goes, go back to being a brunette, Katrina. And I am. I am going back. I'm going back to black, actually. Licorice color. covering up the old purple. Hey, buddy. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming, buddy. Hi, Rain Cloud. Okay. I didn't even say anything, guys, yet. I just showed you Micah's beautiful voice. And that wasn't even my favorite of hers. I wish I was like great with technology and have like all these clips pulled up on my computer, but I work from my phone. So, all right, so let's get started, guys. I was and Buddy has something to do with this. Tracy has something to do with this. I have been taking notes. I've been writing on pieces of paper. I've been doing, oh, just ignore that chocolate chip cookie. Okay. Because I didn't get a chance to have lunch, but I got to do this. My Tracy, my friend, my soul sister, my sister of the light, has been saying, you know, Ruby and Katrina and Kim Magical all should be doing Micah, a reading on Micah. And I said, I've been doing my notes, but I avoided her in the beginning. I avoided her case. Why? Because I have a lot of cases I work on, and I was really, really, really ingrained in the Sebastian Rogers case. And then I was like, you know what? My buddy Tracy is right. We got to give other cases attention. You know, it wasn't that I couldn't tap in. I could always tap in if I want to, right? You just have to talk to them and you have to listen. You have to be ready to listen. You have to be ready to receive. And that sometimes you're not ready to receive. Okay, so when I first started to think about her, oh, this is really hot. This is probably not the best thing to burn this. Okay, but instead I'm going to keep it on there because I have to have the smoke in the picture. And if anybody is like getting shadow people in their houses or apartments or condos, or even cars, when I say shadow people, I mean like little, like the side of your eye, you see like a flash of light, or side of your eye, you went like this, and some kind of shadow, a black shadow, if it's black, be scared a little bit. It just means say a prayer. And somebody might be trying to talk to you, and that they're not, it's not always a positive energy. Okay, don't worry, I see them too. I see them too because I deal with spirits. But for God's sake, please light a piece of Palo Santo. All right, and what I have going on right now is Palo Santo in cone form. It's really good because I don't have to keep on relighting it every second, but it does the protection. And so there's a lot of negative energy related to this case because it involves Micah Francis Miller. She married a pastor. His name is John Paul Miller. Okay. So you might say, what's the problem with that? Well, there's a lot of evil and darkness. And let me say right now that this is for entertainment reasons only, although I do believe in every word I say. I do know that I am not God and I could be incorrect. So that's why this is for entertainment reasons only and for people who think with their third eye, okay? Which my buddy Tracy is probably picking up some things, and I'm trying to train her to write it down and to start to tap in. And yeah, that could be taught because it's like you're up on the top of the mountain and you have to let yourself receive information. And it's scary. It's not always nice and neat with a big red bow, although sometimes it could be that easy. If you listen to Ruby, a couple of her videos, that's what she kept on getting, that symbol with the big red bow on the Idaho 4 case. Yeah, it has to do with symbolisms and feelings, lots of feelings. But anyhow, I'm going to go through it all. But I have ADD so badly that with me in the shot, I'm already looking at 3 pimples on my face. And I don't like it. I don't have my makeup on, so I don't even have lipstick on. So I am going to take the the screen off of me, and I'm better if I just, show you my cards and talk to you. Okay. And yeah, so that's why I don't have music on in the background. Micah appreciated that I found her music. So if you missed it, go to the, this is over, go to the beginning of the video and you'll see like a 2-minute video. And I gave the YouTube channel, I subbed to them and I also gave them credit. But anyhow, so that they don't cite me or whatever. But that's her music. And I just wanted to give you a little example of it. Anyhow, why are messages being deleted? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I sometimes, oh, something like that happened to you? Yeah. All right. So if they're not scary, that's good. That's good because you're in control of your spirit partners, your spirit team. Like everybody has a spirit team, and you might say, well, I thought we just have one angel. No, we have a bunch of angels, but spirit guides, your spirit team could be different from your angels. You do have the angels as well. That's why a lot of people, they just don't talk to their angels enough. They don't ask for help enough. They're like, oh, I have a bad relationship, or I'm having financial problems, or I haven't found my soulmate. And you got to ask. You got to start talking, and you got to tell them your worries, and tell them your wishes and your dreams, and then focus on those wishes and dreams. That's called manifest. But with the help of your spirit team, it's even better. Yeah. So when you see the shadow, you just say, "Please, dear God, protect me and my family." Sometimes I say, "Please, dear God, I don't want to see that. I'm freaked out enough because a big, huge bug was in my living room." Okay, a big bug like this big. Okay, and luckily Snoopy was able to get him and had him on his back, but I still had to kill him. All right, so anyhow, I can't even think of that. Like I was like, I don't even like to sit there by myself anymore. So I bring the dogs. Anyway, let me get to it. I'm distracting myself, but with anything with a spirit occasion or some kind of shadow figure or shadows coming in, just say a prayer protection. And then if you totally really don't want to be aggravated with it, like I don't got the time to be spooked out and I don't want to look into it right now, then just ask for God to shut it down. Okay? And then you say it out loud. You say, I am not open or receptive to seeing anything spiritually right now. So shut it down, please. Thank you. Okay? You have to be stern. All right? When I was in that house in Ireland, not to always bring up Ireland, but cheers, Ireland. Sorry, I was just thinking about Ireland. Okay. When I was in Ireland and I was in that house, yeah, it was a beautiful house. It was a gorgeous house. The bathtub didn't work, so I never got to take my bath in there, but it was gorgeous. But I had such a shaky feeling. Okay? I felt all the energies of the people in the past. Like I'm talking 1800s and stuff. So, not that there was a murder, not that there was murders, but there was underhanded things that happened, and I just didn't want to feel that energy anymore. So I was scared to do it, but I did it because my son said, there's no smoking here, and I lit it. Okay, I had a candle. I packed a candle. I come prepared. I packed my candles. I had a candle, and I lit it. I lit the candle, and I think I bought a candle too. Yeah, I bought a candle from one of the stores. And after I lit that candle and I say my prayers, I say a prayer. It could be a complicated prayer, or could just, usually with me, it's easy prayer, because I can't remember everything. So I guess I'm not a good Catholic. But anyhow, I say my prayers that match with me and my soul. And they're usually simple. They're like, please, dear God, protect me and my family. Please protect me against any negative energy in this home and get all the negative energy out. Well, with the freaking Palo Santo stick, I got bold one day and I lit it. Okay? After I lit it, you could see a video of me at that big long dining room table, and I had the smoke going. My friend DC, she had said, she did screenshots for me. She was like, you should have seen how pretty the smoke looked. It kind of looked like an angel in one picture, like the smoke it made it look like wings, and it was right over me, and I'm not scared of it. I wasn't scared of it because it was a positive. It was almost like the house was waiting for somebody to cleanse it. You know, it's like a rich Irish person owned that house, and instead of living there, they're making loads of money by renting it out as a B&B. But all the energy from the families that lived there in the 1800s, that's what I felt. And then also the 1970s came to mind, 1960s and 70s came to mind. And I was very tuned in to Sebastian and Summer, which I never did her reading. I wrote it down. I never read it. I'm pretty sure. Because, oh, my table's burning. Hold on. Table's burning. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Damn it. Never burn on a shell. Burnt the tablecloth, and I burnt the table. Okay, 1 second, guys. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Look what I did. And it went down to the table. Oh, God. Okay. So apparently you can't burn on that shell. That's not a good thing. Hi, Celestia. Okay. Hi, Jenny Lang. Yeah, Jenny Lang is a friend. Jenny Lang is very good. Hi, David. Can you shout out my son, Nick? He's been watching your videos. Hi, Nick. I never see him on my videos. His name is Nick, David's son. Shout out. I don't know what's happening, but somebody let me know. What could get a strike? The music? Oh, okay. All right, guys. All right, so far we burned the table, and my table means a lot to me. It's granite. It's a granite table. No, that was a bad shot. But I'm trying to figure out how I could be safer. So I'm going to use this little case. Anyhow, I'm going to start now because I'm making a fool of myself. So I'm going to start. I'm going to take the picture off of me and put it on to the picture. Okay. Just because I know I could read better that way. And I might need, yeah. Okay, let's just take it off of me. All right, the candle is, you can look at the candle. Okay. All right, so the first thing that I got is that I'm going to go through it like very organized, but first let me just do a mishmash of my notes. So, when I thought of, here's my mishmash. Okay, when I thought about Micah and I saw her, you know who she reminded me of? Maya Millete. Remember Maya Millete, the woman that went missing in California? That's exactly who she reminds me of. She looks like her. She's built like her, like petite. Maya Millete was even tinier, but same situation. And that douchebag's in prison, and they couldn't find her body. They didn't have a lot of proof, but you know what? Justice was done, so justice will be done. Don't worry. You don't even have. Well, Micah's body was found. And see, MM, they have the same initials. MM and then Micah Miller, same initials, right? That has to mean something, right? Let's get domestic violence. Let's get some attention on domestic violence, guys. And, everything's allegedly, and I'm not trying to say that anybody is guilty until there is a trial in a court of law. Everybody's innocent until a trial of the court of law. But let's get that trial going. Okay, so we have we have Micah Miller, right? There was a king hero. There was like what is a king hero? I kept hearing king, a hero complex, a king complex. And you say JP, John Paul. No, the pastor, the pastor is a narcissist, okay, allegedly, right? But I'm saying that when Micah Francis, when she moved, she was only a little girl. She was only 13, 14, right? When she met him. And so she looked at him as a king. He was a lot older, right? I think he was like 28, something like that. And she was 13. So she looked at him as like a hero, a man of God, somebody who's talking about Jesus, somebody who's, saying what God wants and what Jesus wants, right? So she transferred. You could transfer over. Like, we can't see Jesus in front of us, but we could see people who act like, they are a God person. They are our hero. You're a little kid. You're impressionable. So she kept telling me these two words. Like, he was acting like my king. He was acting like my hero. And also a father figure. Okay, you might say, yuck, father figure. But you know what? Guess what? She babysat for his 5 kids. Okay. So there was a lot of emotional abuse, of course. Yes, she did buy the gun. Okay, and I will tell you what I think about everything. Psychopathy, tried to bully her family too. JP tried to bully her family too. And he did succeed. South Carolina, but I also got North Carolina. So I think that's North Carolina is where she offed herself. But we'll talk about it where she went. So she drove from South Carolina where they lived to North Carolina. J.P. Miller, I believe, is a psychopath that gaslights and blames his victims. Okay, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Am I a doctor? Do I have a degree in psychology? Oh, almost, but not. I don't have a degree in psychopaths, but I do study them. Okay, so that's my opinion. Okay. Anyhow, she felt. When I say she, I mean I keep on seeing Maya. Micah felt that she could never get away fully. She tried to. She had an apartment. She was starting her life over. She was in a different church. She was trying not to answer him. He put up naked pic. These are all facts, too. I mean, maybe this one isn't a fact yet, but we'll wait and see. He put up naked pictures of her after she got breast implants, which I think he told her to do. After she got that operation and then they had broken up again, he messed with her car so that her car had flat tire. He did it like twice. He messed with her car, right? He wouldn't allow her to go on. So then he put up naked pictures of her chest, right? She goes to the police. The police say, sorry, we can't do anything because your head is not in there. Your face isn't in there. So and also the person who put it up had a different account, so we can't relay it to him. Well, really? Really, cops? You couldn't do it? You couldn't do anything about that? That's porn revenge, right? That's in that category. Yeah, controlling sicko narcissist, in my opinion. Ellie did not protect her. Sorry, Ellie, you didn't. Stalking and harassment. He put a GPS on her car so he would know exactly where she was all the time. This is sick. Forced her to get breast augmentation. These are facts, guys. Controlled her to take her away from her family, who loved her, and put her in, I didn't write a card for it, but he put her in, they have proof, in psych ward several times. She wanted to get broken up with him several times, and he put her in psych ward. Meanwhile, she was never, according to her stepdad and her sister, she was never diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She was just emotionally abused, physically abused, sexually abused, financially abused by this person for all these years since she was 13. Okay, and he was an adult. All right. Something with lithium. He was on lithium, but he wanted her on lithium, and she didn't want to take it. Okay. Again, she was not diagnosed with bipolar disorder, so she shouldn't have been on medication for bipolar, and she was diagnosed with depression. Okay. He himself said he has done evil deeds to her. Okay. And all right, so I'm done with those notes. Oh, there was a bot here. Okay. Thank you for taking care of them. You're being a Weisenheimer? That's okay. Yeah, Jenny, you're a friend, so. Yes, Buddy, Tracy, he groomed her. He straight up groomed her. And the people in the pulpit know it. They know it, right? But they're not going to say anything because they're like, they're very robotic. There's a lot of people, there's some people that will start to break away from the church and come out of it and stand up for Micah Miller, right? But most of the people are afraid, and they just robotically say, well, we have to say that somebody's bad, so it's too scary for us to say that a pastor is bad, because then we'll have to rethink everything. So it'll be easier to say that Micah Miller just committed suicide and was an unhappy person, and she was the crazy one, and it has nothing to do with JP, right? Oh, they were getting a divorce, so that's why. No, that's one-dimensional thinking. We got to think three-dimensionally. We got to use our psychic abilities, and we got to use our hearts and our brains to try to come up with answers so that we can get justice for people who are domestically abused. And also, she was a child when she met him, so therefore that puts him in a certain position of authority. And also, she was a little girl, teenage girl, when allegedly she was babysitting for him, age 14, 15, 16, and she was being essayed by him. Okay? She probably thought he was her boyfriend. So he went from being the pastor, a hero, a king, to a father figure. And then all of a sudden now he convinced her that they belonged together and that he would be her secret boyfriend. This is what I'm getting psychically, okay? She said, he was my secret boyfriend, Katrina. He convinced me that that was okay with God. Oh, thank you, Forever Bella. This one is a kind of an old one. Well, I made it in December 2023. So it's not that old. But guys, in order to not put anything else on fire, I have to use this. Okay. And I think I'm going to do one at a time. This is white sage. Switching out of the Palo Santo was intense. And I feel like I got mostly my communication done. And she's telling me, yeah, read the cards. So let's get that lit. I have a Palo stick just in case. Have one life. Charlotte follows. She was found. We only have one life. She was found with a gunshot. They say it was self-harm. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that, Diana. I'm going to talk about that. My take might not be like everybody else's take. And trust me, I am always like a conspiracy theory type of person because, you know, I'm always thinking about the underdog. I'm always thinking about, you know, who did what. So I just wanted to show you a nice little burn. Yeah, she likes it. Okay, so let's get started with my cards. Okay, we are doing Micah Miller. And when I write somebody's name down, I could tap in almost immediately. I mean, it has been like sometimes I would have to tap in like 7 times to write their name, and sometimes they tell me use different markers. But this is my psychic download for Micah Miller. And it started, her name was Frances first, so I wanted to include that. Micah Frances Miller. It kind of started when it first happened, and I kind of avoided it because I just, like I said, I was traveling, I was into the Sebastian Rogers case, all my energy was going to that. Then I had to go back to work, and I was like not used to working in a month. And so everything had to take a back seat. And then, of course, in between, I always get sick. So, you know, there's that. All right. So, first off, I definitely was able to tap into her when a lot of people have shown her doing Facebook when she first broke up with him and tried to get away from him and start her life over. I mean, she was only the young age of 29, 30. I think she died at age 31, or maybe she was going to be 31. So that's my son's age. So I was like, this little girl, and I call her little because I could be her mother. I see her as a little girl, and she kind of stopped maturing at a young age because of what happened to her. So it was like a vicious cycle where she felt kind of guilty. So she didn't tell her family what was going on. They thought something was going on. And in the interim of this, she was married. I'm going to lay it out with the cards. She was married to somebody else for a little while. I don't know how many years. If you know, please put it in the chat. If you know how long she was married to John Paul's best friend, John Paul married her. I'm thinking she looked like about 20, 19, 20. Another thing I don't know is how many years was she married to John Paul? Does anybody know that? Okay. Facts. We definitely know that she joined the church between 13 and 14. Her sister said that. Okay. She had a beautiful singing voice. She talked about domestic violence, but she was afraid. She was running scared. Even though she got out of the house with him and had her own apartment, she knew she was being stalked by him. She was being tracked by him. If he didn't do it, he had other people do it. Okay? So, sorry, I keep on doing this, but she asked me. She said it gives her peace. Okay. So we have the sage, white sage going, and that's very protective, and we have the Palo Santo going. Okay. The domestic violence was never addressed. Okay. Not only domestic violence when she was married to him, but domestic violence and the gaslighting and the emotional silencing before she even married him. All the different things that he was telling her. So see what happens to a young girl's mind or even a young boy's mind. Anybody young, you get involved with somebody, you see them as a king or a hero or father figure, right? And that's no dissing her stepdad or a regular dad, but sometimes people are in our life and we're very young and you're influenced. Whatever they say, you feel like, oh, they're spending so much time with me and attention to me, telling me my hair is pretty, my eyes are pretty, my figure is pretty, and telling me that I sing nicely, I do this nicely. And then they build you up with all these compliments. It's called love bombing. But as a child, as a preteen, and an early teenager, 13, 14, 15, you are so impressionable. You are so innocent. All you want to hear are good things about your body, even more than good things about your abilities. Okay? Because teenagers are just understanding what they look like in the world. And then when you mature, you care about what you bring to the world, not so much at the outside. Okay? So she was totally insecure about everything, and he made her feel secure. So then when he made her smile and laugh and feel secure, she started to fall for him, but she wasn't falling for the real person, monster, that he was. Okay? He was married with 5 kids. No, Micah didn't have kids. She was helping raise his kids. Okay? He has a wife, ex-wife. The first Mrs. John Paul Miller, okay, that divorced him because she caught John Paul Miller with the babysitter, who was Micah Miller. Why isn't he in jail? Why isn't he in jail for raping, essaying don't worry, guys, I'm not monetized. But I can't say all these weird letters and stuff. Anyhow, why isn't he in jail for sleeping with the teenage babysitter? Nobody gave him a black eye for it. That's what she just said. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry all these things happened to you. Hi, Alicia. Oh, I'm sorry. Lolly went to heaven. Her doggy. I know that's really hard. God bless Lolly. And God bless you. Yes, Diana. Abusive situations, a lot of times people just stay. and it's so painful. And even after you're out of it, you're still second guessing yourself. You're still worried. I'm in a positive. Sorry about the cookie eating, guys, but I got hungry. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Um, you know, I'm in a very positive relationship with a very gentle giant, Devin. But a lot of times, I was triggered and I thought he was gonna like yell at me. And one day, I spilt wine in his room. He would always tell me, "Don't bring wine up to the bedroom." And I spilt wine in his room, and I thought something bad was going to happen to me. So I ran out. It was snowing. I went to run outside, but instead I just hid it downstairs in one of the rooms downstairs. And he was looking for me, and he thought I went out in the snow, and he was calling for me and everything. And he came back in, and he was like trying to call me on the phone, and then he heard my phone ringing in the other room. And he goes, "Why would you run away?" And I go, "I thought you were going to hit me." And he was like, "Why would I ever hit you? Why would I ever raise my hand?" I go, "But you were so mad because I spilled the wine in your room." He goes, "So I was mad, but I would never hit you. I would just say, 'Please be careful next time,' or help me clean it out of the rug." He goes, "I would never do anything like that, but the reason why I was triggered is because I was in that situation before where I was afraid." And so sometimes that never goes away. And the younger it happened to you, the more triggered you would be, the more traumatized you would be. So imagine a little girl at 13 meets this guy, right? And he's all nice and everything, smiling and telling her all the things that she's great at and all the things that she's so pretty and beautiful and, building her up, building her up. "Hey, you could babysit for my kids." And, like a snake, he weaved his way into her life and mind and body. And so instead of feeling anger at him, she feels guilty because somehow she thinks it's her fault. And somehow he got her thinking that she was a slut. Or whenever she was going to tell, or she was going to try to get out of the relationship and just date somebody her own age, he would say something to her to demean her. So then the cycle goes over, round and round, okay? Unless you get a very good support team of friends and family and a very good therapist. Okay, so this is who I feel has a lot of information besides her sister and her stepdad, who have spoken up and who are on, trying to help her get justice for her. His ex-wife, JP, John Paul's ex-wife, and his ex-girlfriend. He has an ex-girlfriend that he was dating, but he still wouldn't let Micah be free. He had plenty of girlfriends. He had all these people that he would bring into the marriage, and he would make her witness, allegedly. He would make her witness him having relations with other women, and he would try to bring in other people. And he did so many things to her. Like one specific thing that I heard was, and this is allegedly, because people could say the wrong thing, but this is what I heard. That he would say, "Let's do this. I want you to do this in front of me." And she would say no. And then every time she walked in the room, he would throw water at her and ask her again. So it's almost like being waterboarded. And you might say, "Why didn't she leave?" Well, she tried to leave several times, and guess what he did? He put her in an insane asylum. He got her locked up like Britney Spears on a 50-50 lock. Okay. Then he took her electronics where she was writing things down, her phone, her laptop, her iPad, and he cleaned them. He cleared them all. Okay. Supposedly there is a binder that she had written down dates and times and situations that he has done to her, and it's in writing. I don't know if that binder exists. I don't know if he got his hands on it. I don't know if the sister has it. I don't know where that is. But apparently he had been to her apartment. He was probably looking for it, allegedly. But look to the ex-wife. She could still give information. The ex-girlfriend that he just recently was with. He might still be with her, but ex-girlfriends, plural. Okay, guys? Plural. Because there's a lot of them. Ex-victims of SA and R. That means he wanted to do things with these people and they said no. So he put something in their drink. Or he said, you know what, either if you don't do it, I'm not going to let you be in this church. I'm not going to let you, I'm going to, not going to lend you the money. I'm not going to, he would do some kind of bargaining and the person would have to give in. Okay? That is still considered that. And that. Okay. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. All right, so these are out of order, but it'll be in some sort of order. You'll get the feeling. He manipulates people the way his father manipulated him as a kid. Now, this came in because Micah is so compassionate that she wants to forgive him. And she wanted to forgive him. And she goes, Katrina, I had forgiven him for all the things. I just wanted to be free of it. I just wanted to have a different life. And I was trying to start it over. But then I realized I can never start it over. It was too much damage to me. And I'll tell you what. She goes, Katrina, he wasn't accepted by his father. His father did a number on him. So it's almost like a generational trauma type of thing. You have to be the one that stops the generational curse. And he goes, he was just doing everything to make his father happy so that his father could compliment him. And she goes, so sometimes I looked at him as like he's a little boy, even though he's, a man much older than me. And when I was just a kid, he was a man. And adults shouldn't do that to preteen girls. But she still had compassion because she said that the father treated him a certain kind of way and like was abusive and, but if he would do something bad or what the father wanted him to do for money, everything's money, show me dollar signs. Okay? And of course, this is for entertainment reasons only and allegedly. I'm not saying this is true to put anybody behind bars. But you know what? If the bars fit, then get behind them. But she's just, what I'm trying to say is she's so compassionate that she's saying, not a lot of stuff is not his fault because it's him just continuing a pattern that he learned from his father. And she goes, and I worry about his kids. I worry about the kids because especially the older ones will kind of do the same thing that he does. And he did the same thing that his father did. Okay? Okay, now, J.P. Miller, we have fraud. We have a gaslighter. We have very good at it. He could come off very charming. But then on the same token, like, okay, I have to show you myself for this. Okay. Why is a lot of messages being deleted? Okay. All right. Maybe that was before. Okay. So he comes off very charming, and like he could be funny, and like these little anecdotal stories about Jesus and God, and then other things that he puts in. But then there's also this creep factor. You have to watch him. Just pull up, John Paul Micah's husband, Pastor Miller, and there'll be clips on YouTube, right? He, at one hand, you look at him, he a little bit funny. I mean, you know, if you go for that humor, okay. Then on the other hand, he could really seem like, nerd is not the right word, like a awkward robot that's not making any sense, like a weirdo. Okay, just I can't explain it, but I'm watching because I watch this for research, and I pick up on the energy, and where he's crying about supposedly his wife. Sorry about the pimples. He's crying about his wife, just finding out that his wife is dead, deceased. Okay, he doesn't make that announcement till after the whole sermon is over. He says at the end of the sermon, he goes, now now that the sermon's over, I'm going to tell you something, but I don't want you to do anything or say anything. I just want you to get up quietly, don't say anything, and leave the church. Okay, is that how you announce that your wife is dead? Okay, some people might say, oh, because it's too painful, you didn't want anybody to come up to him, you didn't want anybody, but he certainly did the talking. Then supposedly he's crying at the funeral, or the hey babe, what's that thing that you have? It's a funeral, a memorial, the memorial for his wife. And I don't know why he was in charge of it. They were divorced. They were divorcing. They were estranged. Her family should have been involved in it. Her family should have the necklace that she was wearing. Okay? No, instead he has it. Well, you had girlfriends. That's why she was finally sick of your ass. Okay? And so why were you trying to get her back? You wanted to have your girlfriends and you have your wife too. Well, it doesn't work that way, pal. Okay? Anyway, the thing about him is that he really, if to a trained eye, and to really anybody with like a brain, you would see that he was not crying. And he would even make jokes, and they were saying it was very Chris Watts-esque. Okay, but here's the problem. It's not a problem. I don't think he actually did the deed with his hand. I don't think he did it with his hand. I think he caused her to have a nervous breakdown after nervous breakdown, and then she was like, I can't get out of this, so I'm going to do this, and there's going to be a question mark. So they will finally look at him. They will finally think he did it. But you know what? Because I listen to the 911 call over and over again. I watch him up on stage a lot of times. I don't want to, but I had to feel the energy. What I haven't seen is them together singing and dancing. But when I look at her at certain pictures, she's totally destroyed. Emotionally, physically, financially, she's gone. She was starting to get herself back when she went to Africa. She was going to build a school, I think. There's pictures of her with the kids in Africa. She was starting to feel herself. Very much Princess Di energy. Very caring. It's like, are you real? Are you a real person? The way I didn't know that my people who cut my lawn are going to be here. This looks awkward. Hold on a second. This is awkward. Hold on a second, guys, because they could see right in my window. That is awkward. There we go. Yeah, they could see my window, and that's awkward. So anyhow, you're welcome. I'll put you in my prayers tonight, Leisha. Um, yes, being shouted out is horrible. Being told that you're not good enough, that you're ugly or you're fat or you're I don't know, or you're dumb. Like I hear these things. I hear a lot of things that he said to her. That's why she was like, she was going. She was always an exerciser. She was always like very athletic and into sports and things like that. But she didn't feel good about herself. Um, he was working on her, you know, and so what I feel. Let me finish the cards first, okay, guys? I'm sorry. Hi, Max. This group is about Micah Miller, who passed away. Micah Miller. Okay. I know this one is a heavy one. This is definitely a heavy one. Is this my lens too close? J.P. Miller is a gaslighter. Yes, check, please. Stealing funds. I'm going to talk about it. Money laundering, allegedly. And fraud. Okay. Why do I say this? Allegedly. Okay. I could be wrong. All right. But this is the words I was hearing, and Micah goes, yes, I had proof. I was trying to show proof, but I had to get myself into a less dangerous situation. And I was totally unprotected in that apartment. She was too far away from everybody. She would have been better off with her family. She just said, she's shaking her head, yes. I'm sorry, honey. She goes, it's not your fault, Katrina. A lot of people going through, and I got to find the number for domestic violence. You know what? Right now, there's people who are being beat up or psychologically abused all over the world, all over the country, and in Europe and in the United States, all over the world. Let me ask a question. Echo, what's the number for the United States domestic abuse violence number?
The phone number for United States Olympic and Paralympic Museum.
No. Echo, stop. Echo, what's the number for domestic violence in United States?
The phone number for domestic violence crisis, located on South Main Street in Kokomo, is 765-868-3154. It is currently closed but will be open on Monday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Echo, what's the number for the domestic violence for women?
The phone number for domestic violence program, the Center for Women and FMLS, located on West Breckenridge Street in Louisville, is 502-581-7222.
Echo, what's the domestic violence number for people in Europe?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay, so Echo doesn't know anything out of the United States, but here's one number that I got in the United States for domestic violence. And I'll try to do more research on that and put it in the comments. If anybody's having a problem where you feel like you can't get out, somebody is either abusing you physically, emotionally, financially, even, please call someone. Get safe. And if you have no friends or family to go to turn to, call the domestic violence number. Okay? You could Google it wherever you are. And they could give you ideas of a safe place. Okay? Or even how to deal with the situation that you're in. All right. So she keeps on telling me this about stealing funds. The funds, and I had to look this up. I didn't understand laundering, okay, because, I don't do it, so I didn't understand it. Okay, I'm not, understanding what the mafia does, but she keeps on telling me that JP learned from his family, his dad. Okay, allegedly. I don't know why she would tell me this if it wasn't true, but she's saying like it's where you take money and you invest it in different businesses, not just the church. Maybe there's a little restaurant or bar that opens up, a coffee shop that opens up, a laundromat that opens up, I keep on hearing skincare that opens up, and any kind of trip that they went on. If it was by church money, that's a type of fraud, because you shouldn't be going on a trip with the church's money. I mean, I know the church, anything that they don't pay taxes, right? So I don't know. The FBI needs to look into that church and look into generations of money, wherever JP was, wherever his father was. And I'm pretty sure they are looking into that. But another sad fact is that they did not fire him. He's just on leave. They made it sound like they fired him to disassociate, that he's just laying low. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of people that still trust him. But don't worry, there's a whole bunch of people that think he killed her in some way. I'm going to still tell you my theory, psychologically and psychically. Okay. What you do with the money is there's 3 ways. First is placement. Put it in different places, in different businesses. Then there's something called layering. Sorry, I had to write fast. And then there's another thing called integration. Okay, where you put it in all the different businesses. This one could be the church. Layering could be in different places so that you're not taxed for it. Yeah. I don't know much about finances, but this is what she said to me. Okay, and then I got these 2 being very important. South Carolina, I believe, is that where they're from? And then North Carolina. Okay, a lot of people say, why did she go drive herself to North Carolina to a international park and off herself there? Well, that's very smart. You know why? She must have did research, because if you just found like in your apartment passed away, or you found like, down the street, or you just overdosed like, and you're not in public, or maybe even if you're in public, there's a little bit of an investigation. But if you die, you pass away in a national park, the government owns the national park, so the government has to get involved. Smart. The government has to get involved. Why would she want the government involved, you might say? Why would Micah want the government involved in her death? Well, you see something, one of these points as being important? Allegedly. Okay. Is anybody here? 19 in the house. Please give me a thumbs up. I am not well known. 22. It went from 19 to 22 in a second. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you. I only ask, it's for free. This is all for free. I just ask that you support me by sharing my videos. Please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because YouTube does this little funny thing. And the funny thing that YouTube does is they unsubscribe you. If you don't watch me all the time and I'm not on your feed, Okay? They take me out of the feed. All right? And so you would have to type in Mystic Brady to see where I'm at, what I'm doing. Okay? And I'm always doing something, but lately I've been a little bit behind because I'm watching a lot of Killing Eve on Netflix and 9 Brooklyn 99. Okay? My two favorite shows. But anyway, and also I'm working. But what I wanted to say is please resubscribe. If you find out that you're not subscribed, resubscribe. Because I was almost at 7,000 subs. Almost. I think I deserve it. Do you think I deserve it? From like over 3,000 videos, and I've been working this gig since 2019. But then all of a sudden it went from, and then I checked my analytics, I got like 50,000 views. But then it doesn't show up on the other part. So I was right at like 6,995 subs. Then all of a sudden I went on and it went back down to 6,500 subs. Or 6,400 subs, something like that. And I was like, what happened to the hundreds of subs? So YouTube's doing a weird thing. So please resubscribe. You might have to unsubscribe and just push it back in to the analytics. And that, I don't mind you doing that if you're still subscribed, but you're not getting any notifications from me. I've been doing like shorts and stuff. If you're not getting any clicks about Mystic Brady, that means that you unsubscribe, push on all, the button on all, and then you resubscribe again. Make sure that it says subscribed. Okay. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking, please, namaste. Please and thank you. Okay. And Micah just said, yeah, Katrina, they should be watching you. They all should be watching you. Thank you, Micah. No, and that wasn't, she goes, I know some people will think that's a self-serving comment, but she's really saying it. Okay. I've been tapped up to her. I've been tapped into her. And I thank my buddy Tracy because she's been reminding me, you got to do Micah, you got to do, and like when I come home from work, I am dead. I got nothing. Then plus yesterday, after work, Devin says, do you want to go look for dresses for the wedding, right? I said yes. We went to a place. I didn't like any of the stuff. I mean, I tried on one pantsuit and like 4 dresses. The only thing that kind of fit was an extra large black pantsuit. It just didn't look like me. And I was like, even if I just had a solid, then I bought a camisole that has like red and orange and green in it, and it's like satiny feeling. I said, if anything, I'll just wear a black dress and put that over it. But I was real, and then he took me to another store. It's like a dress barn store. It has millions of dresses, and I tried on 8 dresses there too. And I walked out of the store. I was so angry that I hated myself in every dress. And I don't want to give in to the devil, because the devil wants you to hate yourself, call yourself fat on the side, or call yourself stupid. He loves that stuff. Okay. But I was kind of giving in yesterday because I was so aggravated, and I was like, I'm sick of everything, because I have a whole bunch of dresses and that we got from Temu, and none of them look nice. And I do have a Calvin Klein dress, but it's not comfortable in the chest area because I'm a fatty. Okay. That's one I can get in, but I have to stop after that. Okay. Today is not a beating up day. All right. I'm just being me. I'm not going to worry about the dress. I'm just going to leave it to God. Okay, but I wasn't going around to look for dresses today. I can't do that torture twice in one. And I had a terrible day yesterday. It was very, very harsh with the kids, talking and yelling, and they didn't have recess, and I felt bad about it, but I told the teacher, I unleashed on the teacher. But anyhow, let's get back to Micah, okay? That's why I can't show you me. I can't show you me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so. Yes! It is. I had to put up a wall. Okay, so, guys, it is scary. Yeah. I was brought up to no divorce allowed, but my dad told me on his deathbed for me to leave. And it still took 4 more years for me to get out. It is scary. Yeah, that let me tell you something. As a divorced person, um, I all right, now I gotta show you myself again. Because this she would want me to tell you this story. When I say she, I mean Micah Francis. Um, okay. She said she was gonna drop off the Miller. She was gonna get the Miller off and go back to Micah Francis. So I'm gonna just refer to her as Micah Francis. You're welcome. Okay. Anyhow, when I was going to get divorced, this is a personal story, but some of you know this about me. And yeah, I was married for 24 years. Okay. I was with my ex since age 18 to in the 40s, right? And so I went to the priest for counseling because I used to go to church back then, okay? I went to the priest, the same priest that, saw my whole family coming into church, and I set up a meeting with him. So the first meeting, I said, what do you do when your spouse that you're married to, they drink too much and maybe something else? And he was like, well, Catholic religion. He was Indian, I think he was Indian. Yeah. And we loved this father, we loved this priest. He was always funny, he was always nice, he was always sweet and funny at the same time and down to earth type of person. So I thought I could, get some answers and some help. So he was like, well, you have kids. And I was like, yeah, my daughter was older. She was probably about, when did I go? Like she was 20 and my son was 15. So, cause I went to him several times. I used to even go to like counseling, like I don't know, a 2 hour thing. I forget what it was. And I would bring my daughter there and my kids there, and I don't know if it was in the office. We did something for the church. I forget what it was. Now my rosacea's coming out because I'm talking about this. But anyhow, so I went to him and I said, what's your advice? I said, my father was an alcoholic. He drank so much. I told my husband at the time, before we got married, I can't deal with. I had a very tough childhood. My father was an alcoholic, raving, breaking things, and and it really didn't end after they got divorced because then we would just go over to his apartment and have to deal with it without my mother's protection. So I said, I couldn't handle you being an alcoholic and me having a bad adulthood. I think I deserve a good adulthood because I had a bad childhood. So my ex at the time said, oh yeah, stop comparing me to your father. He's a loser, right? He used to always put my father down, right? No respect. So I was like, okay, does that mean that you're not gonna, overdrink and, become a raving alcoholic? Of course not. I would be nothing. I'm nothing like your father. You lose a father, right? Okay. Years go by, 9/11 happens, and we were affected by that because we had a lot of friends and people and firefighters and cops and court officers and ambulance workers and and people who worked in the actual buildings that passed away, died on 9/11. So kind of changed a lot of things. Anyhow, I go back to the priest because now not only is he drinking, but I knew he was doing something else, right? But he had a very good career, a good job. I'm not going to talk about his job. And uh, things were violent, getting worse and worse. Like there was things I just put a blind eye to in the past before we were married, like the hitting, punching you in the cheek, and then your head goes into the car window. Um, Lots of stuff like that. And I just said, oh, I'll change him. I'll love him so much that I'll change him. And he'll love me so much that he'll never do that again. Okay? Doesn't happen. Right? Just gets worse. Then the kids grow up seeing that violence or seeing that the disevenness. And so it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then, you try to be tough and you try to say, let's go for counseling, let's do this. And we did do some counseling. But what happens is one person is very slick and charismatic. They could kind of make the counselor believe them and believe you as, being the opposite. Anyhow, I go back to that Indian priest, right? And I say, now I stuck it out. I did what you said. I prayed to God. I tried to, get him to stop drinking. But I knew it was more than drinking, right? And then, of course, I drank, but I didn't drink to excess. I always had several jobs, and I was, always working and barely any sleep. Anyhow, so I went back to the same priest, and I said, listen, things got worse, and would God want me to stay with somebody who's not only abusing alcohol and drugs but also like kind of beat me up? And I'm sure God wouldn't want that. And you know what he said? I'll never forget, because I never went back to him again. He was going back to India for a mission, but I felt so betrayed, and I was like, wow, Catholic religion is not for me, because I don't want to feel like a bad person, because my mother got a divorce, and if she didn't get a divorce, she probably would have been dead, because there was one attempt on my mother's, more than one attempt, and she almost died from my father's hand. So anyhow, I knew that I was doing the right thing, and I probably should have done it years before, because my kids were exposed to that kind of screaming and yelling and violence that, would make them have problems with wanting to get married and wanting to, P.S. Is anybody married? No. Do I have any grandbabies? No, I do not. But I'm not blaming myself on that one. But what he said to me was, oh, no, God wants you to acquiesce to your husband and help him in every single way and be there for him. And I was like, oh, and God wouldn't care about me being hit and being demoralized and, and he was like, no, of course he cares about you too. But the Catholic religion does not believe in divorce in any way. I said, if a person is getting beat up or harassed emotionally or physically or both, God wouldn't believe in it. God wouldn't accept it. Well, in his eyes, you're still married. You would always be married to that person. You can't get married to anybody else. And I was like, okay, thank you so much for seeing me, Father. Namaste. Okay. So that's my story. And soon after I put I got the papers going, I actually just wrote him a letter to try to make him understand that, we tried a long time, and now it's time for us to break up. But anyhow, it's very painful. It's a very, like Diana was saying, it's scary, it's painful. Imagine how Micah felt being a little child, teenager, preteen, 13, 14, okay? Sorry, I look terrible, guys. I don't want you to see me like this. Okay. All right. So, here we go. That's a good segue to this card. 12, 13, 14. Okay, how did I get this information? I don't know. I was asking her. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but when I channel, I write down notes, and this is what I got. Between ages, oh, sorry, it goes way back. Micah's ages. Between 0 and 5, that's when everything is established, whether you're going to bond with your mom and dad, whether you're going to bond with somebody, whether you feel secure or insecure, whether you've moved a lot, even if you moved a lot, if you're very secure with your family, then you'll be okay. Family transactions, family transitions, that's what I picked up on. Moving, money issues between 0 and 5. Am I 100% sure, guys? Mystic Brady Bunch? No, I'm not, because I'm not God. This is what I got when I was channeling and trying to tap in. Between ages 5 and 10, the same. Okay? I got family transitions, a lot of moving around. Now, maybe she didn't, but something with maybe changing jobs and money issues. Okay? Between 10 and 12, I got a major family change, maybe a remarriage. I'm not sure the age that the mother remarried, but I got between 10 and 12. So maybe the marriage was over here, and then finally they got divorced and she got remarried between 10 and 12. Major family change, remarriage, moves, and school change. Babe, do you have the money for him? Hey, Dev, do you have the money for him? Devin, do you have the money for him?
I hope so.
Sorry about that, guys. Between, hey, 25 in the house. Thank you. Thank you for staying with me. I'm not even sure who's here. Okay. Because I'm very behind in the chat. I don't even understand how the chat goes. Hi, Minnie C. Minnie C, hi. I didn't say hi to you before. Okay. Hi, Pamela. Yes, a lot of people could touch base with Micah's situation because they've been through domestic violence or they've been through a narcissistic behavior. You might not even had domestic violence in the way that a physical abuse, but if you dealt with a narcissist, they've taken something from you and they've gaslighted you. Okay. Angel of Light. I feel the same way, Pamela. And the bruises on her arms, like her father said, someone restrained her. Yes, that could be. I'm going to tell you in a second. Yes, and the other bullet shells, one of them on the tree. Too many things don't add up. Hi, Angel. I love the name you blessed. Buying a sandwich before that was still in the car. Oh, I didn't know about the sandwich. Pamela, thank you. My real name is Angel. Angel of Light, welcome. Insurance, things for herself doesn't add up. Yeah, it doesn't. Thank you for that. Alicia, thank you for giving me the hotline. The domestic violence hotline is 1-800-729-7233. Please, if you're in a situation, you just need advice, anything like that, you feel unsure, you're scared how to go, please call that number. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going back. The lawyer owns most of the land near where she was found. That's interesting. So she knew that that place was a good place, but the sandwich in the car and the haircut, I know she was going to get a haircut as well. Why make plans for the haircut if you're not going to be alive? Why buy yourself a sandwich? Maybe she was going there to meet him. Okay, let's see. Major family change, remarriage, moves, and school change between ages 10 and 12. Okay. Then 12, 13, and 14. Okay. I have abused SA, new home. She has a new church, a new school. You don't know the effects on a person with that. She felt very insecure, probably, wants to fit in. And all of a sudden, this handsome guy, sort of handsome, older guy, is telling you all the things that you want to hear. And she's spending an inordinate amount of time with him. And it's like a cult. It's like a cult, allegedly. 15, 16, 17. Babysit. I see her babysitting, maybe even at 14. Babysit and thought of JP as a father figure, a big brother, and sadly, boyfriend. Okay? But if it started out as a father figure, a big brother, that hero thing that he had, king hero, and then sadly he talked her into like boyfriend. But remember, I don't know the exact age, but she got married to his best friend. So he probably still wanted to just keep his wife with the 5 kids and have the affair with her. But then all of a sudden, she got married to his best friend. So say she was about 19 or 20. That was her marriage, first marriage was around 19 or 20, I think, allegedly. If anybody knows, please put it in the chat. Okay, or please let me know. And then I don't know what age she got divorced from that first husband, which was his best friend, and he married them. JP married them. Does anybody think this is weird? And then she remarried, he gets divorced from his first wife. And I guess his first wife probably signed something saying that she couldn't talk about it because she probably got a money settlement. And meanwhile, she knows where all the bones are buried, so to speak. Okay. Does that make any sense to anybody? My little notes? I can't believe Micah would do it. I'm questioning Katrina at all. She is very gifted. Sorry if he took it up wrong. What? Leisha, I didn't say Katrina isn't right. No, I didn't even say anything yet about what my philosophy is. I go back and forth. I kind of have 2 philosophies of what went on, but I'm going to try to ask her, and I might take out the dowsing rods to ask her. So this way I will know what I'm thinking is confirmed. But I'm going to do that right after I finish my cards, okay? I'm going to actually take out the dowsing rods to ask the question if she committed suicide or not. Okay. These are my feelings and my opinions. Yes, you're allowed to say your opinions and your feelings on the Mystic Brady Bunch. It doesn't have to match with me. No, you don't have to. I am not like a channel that is, a dictator or a dick. Sometimes I act like a dick, but I'm not a dictator. Oh, no. The opposite. We are open to all different philosophies. Who does it all the time? Multiple channels. Yes, Forever Bella, there is a lot of corruption everywhere, sadly. Yes, I agree with that. Pamela, hit the likes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Yes, it's very hard to get out of that relationship. That's why I was in that relationship for 24 years. Okay. And a lot of it I spent feeling bad for him, because you love somebody, you truly love them, you have children with them, and you love them, so you're always giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe if we tried this, maybe if we tried that. Oh, let me try to forget about when I got hit. Let me never tell anybody about when I got hit. Like some people knew, and some people tried to talk to me about it and say that it'll never get better. It'll just get worse once you get married, because it happened before we got married. Okay. And then just different times. I'm not saying it happened every single day. Did not. But there would be fights upon fights upon fights, and certain people would be violent. And that person, not me. because even back then I'm namaste. But I do believe towards the end, I would, if he went to put his hands on me, I did a drop kick. I did. And I got very, strong because I knew nobody should be putting their hands on you and nobody should be yelling at you at 8 o'clock in the morning before you leave for work. Okay. Hi, Sparrow Song. Hi, Muse News. I didn't see you guys slip in here. Yes, when you see a red flag, you got to get out. But unfortunately, my whole thing was I met my ex a year before my mom passed away. So we were dating and we had like 6 months of peace. Once my mother died, it was almost like there was no protection, But it did happen. Did it happen before my mother died? Yeah, I think it did. But I was almost rendered homeless when my mother died, so you do different things, like sometimes I had nothing to eat, and he would pick me up and he would say, "What did you have to eat for lunch or dinner?" And I was like, "What's that?" I only had enough money for breakfast today, and I was at school all day, so he would take me to McDonald's, and he would throw that in my face, like, "Oh, when I met you, you were so poor that you didn't even have 3 meals a day, and that was true. But like the way he put it in my face was not to say that he was nice to me, that I was like a pauper and he was like throwing a pauper some food. So, when you're in certain situations, you're weak and you don't see that many choices. Okay, let's see. Charlotte says, I've dealt with a lot of people who disrespected me in my life, and I was a people pleaser when I was younger. I'm 38 now, and I have proper boundaries in my life. And my mom was a people pleaser, and that's where, yeah, people pleaser right here. Definitely. And I still fall off the wagon sometimes and jump into that phase. And then sometimes I'm like, I don't give an F. I'm doing this. I'm doing A, B, C, or D. And you're going to have to fend for yourself because you know what? This is my life. Okay? And I spent a lot of years being a people pleaser. And you don't please yourself. 1-800-729-7233. 1-800-729-7233. Domestic violence number. Okay. So we are talking about it, and Micah is happy. Micah is happy because, why are you happy, Micah? She said so many, she goes, even though it's 2024, it felt like the 1950s where I was at. And I feel that. And even though she's such a young girl, she was born in the 90s, it shouldn't be like that anywhere in this world. People should not be like that. But when you are groomed from a young age, you can't make those decisions. So she was groomed, and she keeps on saying the T word. She keeps on saying, I'm going to say it for you, Micah. Okay? And, we'll see what happens. But she says, I was almost trafficked. And he held that one over my head, too. He said, you could have been somewhere else on a boat somewhere if I wanted you to. But no, I gave you a home. I gave you a marriage. I kept you here. Like, in other words, he threatened her with trafficking. Like, he can make her disappear. Oh, I heard those words. Thank you, Micah. He can make her disappear if he wanted to. How sick is that? How much how much craziness is that? I'm definitely going to have to get a bottle of wine from the store. Okay. No, guys, I haven't really been drinking anything since Monday, the Two Cosmos Monday, because the Two Cosmos didn't make me feel good. I'm lighting some Palo Santo cones. I definitely recommend these if anybody's trying to cleanse their house. It's all right, baby. Here we go. Okay. So, he tried to bully, I'm talking about JP, tried to bully Micah's family and the Francis family. I don't know why my camera's not showing up. It's like too close or something. He tried to bully them, and he did succeed in taking her away from them. Like, so they were kind of around, or they were kind of in, but he took her away from them. Even before they got married, when she was like just involved in the church and the babysitting and stuff, there was so much time that he stole from her. She can never get that time back. Those aged 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, okay? Already brainwashed. You mind if I say that, Micah? She said, not at all, Katrina. She goes, tell it, because I was too weak to tell it. She goes, I started to. On Facebook, she likes when people watch that. Because she was so scared, but she's pushing herself to talk about those things. And she goes, a lot of it, Katrina, was in a code. A lot of it, I didn't come out and say, domestic violence. She goes, I kind of like, went around the subject, but that's because I was so scared. And, like, he is telling creators and people, that he has a lawyer and whatnot, like John, JLR. My dogs are going nuts because the guy that is our friend that cuts our grass, Devin's outside paying him and talking to him. So it's okay, guys. You're all right. Anyhow, guys, yeah, I'm sorry this is so long, but I'm almost done with my cards, and then I'll tell you my theory. And you know what? I could be wrong, but I'll tell you my two theories. But I'm going to do the dowsing rods on it because I just really want a yes or no answer, and she is talking with me, which I'm really grateful and happy and grateful. Okay, so I don't know. I lost what I was saying, but I'll just keep on going. She said keep going with the cards. So that's what I'll do. Let me just close this up. Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, so beware of false prophets in handsome faces. Okay, see what I did there? Is this thing on? Okay, beware of false prophets in handsome faces. So she was like, there was a time where everybody, all the girls, even the boys, she's telling me, and she's winking, even the boys that were in that audience on the chairs, this folding chairs, I hear the folding chairs being closed and him coming over to her. Everybody thought he was so handsome. Because compared to a lot of other people, he was all they had. So there was a little way that he was handsome. Oh, JLR. JLR was after him, after JP, and he got served with papers, but he's not scared. You know what? The worst thing people could do, I don't have anything. I have a house, I have my dogs, but I'm not a rich person, but I'm not a poor person either. But the worst thing that you could do is try to shut people up when they've gone through something traumatic or they've gone through a horror show. And you just try to shut them up. Everybody's trying to tell people in the church not to talk because if you talk, that's somehow against God and against Jesus. No, No, let me tell you something about my God. And I realized this after I left that church that night, and that Indian guy said, still stay with the guy that, he's not supposed to hit you, he's not supposed to push you around. But, that would be bad if you left him because you're supposed to love him till the day you die. Okay. I said, well, you could love somebody to the day you die, but you don't have to live with them and their abuse. But you can care about that person. And he was like, no, the church would never accept that because that's against Catholic. Well, when I walked away, of course I cried because I realized I can't go to the church. I got to go inside my heart, right? I got to reach out to people who care about me, right? And ask them. And I did. I was speaking a lot to my brother Tommy at the time, and he was guiding me. He told me not to leave the house, but I had to because it became too violent and hostile. And my sister Susan. Those were the two people that knew that I was going to get divorced. Okay. And of course, I reached out to a couple of friends, but I mostly tried to channel my own relationship with my mother to make sure that she was okay with it. And also, most importantly, my own relationship and feeling what God said to me. Because I had this feeling that I did not belong in that house and that I wasn't with somebody who cherished me. And even though my kids were there, that there's something wrong with this situation. This is not where I belong. So the first day that I was standing in my apartment, it was a very small apartment. I had no furniture. I took nothing except a blanket, a radio, my stereo, and I think a folding chair, a couple of blankets. And I sat on a folding chair in the middle of an empty room in an apartment. And it was full on snow out in the middle of winter, 2 feet of snow. And I looked out this window and there was a tree. And I said, that's my tree, even though they did cut it down later on. But I said, that's my tree. And there's peace here. And even though I didn't have material things, I said, this is my place. And nobody's going to yell at me here. Nobody's going to push me around, make me feel bad. And this is my place. And there was such a sense of peace. And I remember looking out the window in my bedroom, where I lived. It was a very nice house. It was a beautiful house. And I looked out that window and there was emptiness and misplacement there. I said, I don't belong here, but where do I belong? And when I looked out that other window in my apartment, my smaller old apartment, 100-year-old building, I said, this is where I belong. And I lived there for 5 years. So what is my point? There is life. There is life after domestic violence or after a bad marriage. There is life after that. Okay? And you have to go in your heart. And if you, in your heart, you feel like this is not working for me, this is not the right place, then you have to make it your business to get in the right place and to get with the people who cherish and love you the way you need to be cherished and loved. Okay. Sorry about that. Beware of false. Okay. I held that up enough. All right. Yeah, I don't want to feel. Oh, was I off alive? Okay. Sorry, guys. Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Okay. All right, guys. I'm sorry if I'm going on and on and on, but this is my reading. When I do things, that's why it takes me a while. And Tracy kept asking me, where's your reading? Where's your reading? And it's because I think about these things for a long time. I thought about it in the car. I thought about it at work on my break. I wrote down some more notes. I thought about it every night. since it happened. Okay, solid. That sounded gross.
I wanted to, you know, I told him he has to come talk to you about how you want the stove done.
Okay, but I'm on live right
No,
now.
no, I know, it's not.
Another time?
It's not gonna be today.
Okay. You gave him the money?
Yeah, he said 50, I'll give him 60.
Okay.
He's also fixing the garage.
Oh, good. Does he have to come in?
Huh?
Is he coming in?
No, he's just gonna go check on him.
Okay. All right, so
Crack here, having a stroke.
I know.
I need to go out the back door, but I can't.
Why?
Because they'll run out and gates open.
Oh. Sorry, guys. 1 second. 1 second.
What you doing a show?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's all right. I have to take a quick break. Guys, talk amongst yourselves. I have to take a quick break, if you know what I mean. Be right there. You know what? Let me light. I want to call Santa up.
Stop it.
Really? Oh, Tracy said hi, Devin.
Who?
Tracy.
Oh, say hello.
Devin said hi, Tracy. Sorry, guys. Real life is happening while I'm trying to do the live, and right now I'm gonna run to the bathroom, and I'm almost done. We only have this many left. Then I'll do the dowsing rods, and then I'll be out. The dog is hurting my. It's all right, Bubba. Bubba, it's okay. Bubba. No, you can't go out yet. No, right there. We're safe. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Baby boy. Baby boy. You're gonna go out in a minute, okay? I gotta run to the bathroom. Right there. Hey, babe,
Yeah,
are they gone?
they're gone.
So they're allowed to go out?
Is the gate closed?
Yes.
Yeah, he did that.
Good. I got the video so long. I didn't know I was on it so long. Drop it. Drop
You
it.
pick it up. He picks it up after you. It still drops, he drops it, he picks it up and runs with it.
Sometimes he doesn't.
No, he does all the time.
He gets his own
Are you
way.
going back on?
Yeah, I have to finish it.
Okay, and then I'd really like to do the bed if we can.
We will.
I gotta move the stuff to the dryer anyway.
Okay.
You want me to hang your shirt?
Yes, please. Hi, guys. Let me just get the smoke. Is everybody still here? 17 in the house. Okay. My videos usually do much better after they're already published. In other words, I don't get that many people on my lives, but a lot of people do watch them. So when they're ready, when they can. Why am I putting this in here? In the smoke to cleanse them? Because the last time I used them for somebody else. Caitlin. I used them for Sebastian. So I'm just cleansing them a little bit. Okay. So Solid Rock is the church that JP is at, right? He's still in it. So don't think that he got fired. He's not fired. He's just on leave, right? So he was told to stay away until the dust settles. I don't trust that church. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay? I don't feel that they helped and stood by Micah. Something about mani-pedis. I just heard mani-pedis. I mean, I need a mani-pedi like nobody's business, but yeah, it didn't happen today. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, so JP rejects the parent that praises him. Oh yeah, this was interesting. This is what I was talking about this a little earlier. When Micah was telling me to be sorry, when Mike wanted me to be sorry for him, and she showed me him as a little boy, even though he's so much older than her, but she said to me that John Paul Miller rejects the parent that praised him, which was his mother, hence leading to many years of abusing girls and women. Okay, allegedly. All right, I'm not accusing anybody, but the shoe fits. This is my evaluation. Why would he be abusive to women and girls? He had the incorrect relationship with his mom. She put him up on a pedestal, maybe even for a short time, and instead of being happy with that, he wanted his father. His father's opinion was more important. Okay? So much generational trauma and abuse. J.P. Miller told he wasn't good enough by one parent, most likely the father, put on a pedestal by the other. Does that make any sense to anybody? Manny Petty, because I'm here. Hi, Donna Becca. She's my MB, my meatball. Donna Becker and I go back to Staten Island, New York, and Brooklyn, New York. Donna Becker in the house. Flyer B, how are you? The dust won't settle for some time. Yeah, he should be fired. Otherwise, the church is going to go down too. Maybe the church needs to go down. How you doing, Donna Becca? My MB? My meatball? What everyone's star sign? Put it in the chat. You're a Taurus. Oh, I'm going to be doing Taurus soon. I didn't realize you were a Taurus, Charlotte. I'm going to be doing Taurus. Taurus is up next, then Gemini. Donna Becker is a Cancer. I know that. She's a moon child. Leisha and Eileen Root are both Sagittarius, Saggiwaggies. Tracy is Scorpio. Bella Butterfly is a Capricorn. Okay, so when I said Micah Francis, Micah Miller, she told me to do Micah Francis in purple because that was her favorite color, or is her favorite color still. And she said, thank you for the balloons. I don't know that. that probably means something to somebody. I believe she had purple balloons. And I didn't know that her favorite color was that. Maybe that's why she told me to pick this, because this is a lot of amethyst. This is amethyst stones. See that? The heart of stones, that's amethyst. And then everything here is all... Okay. So I got stalking, right? Harassing his prey. That's what they do, allegedly. John Paul Miller, evil deeds. Those were his words. He said, sorry for my evil deeds. Sorry, I apologize for my evil deeds, all my evil deeds. What would they be? Well, unfortunately or fortunately, we know some of them. Hiding behind the church, sexual deviation. Remember, Micah, I don't know why my voice is acting strange, but Micah was only a 13 to 14-year-old girl when he met her and influenced her in the wrong, incorrect way. Okay, I'm almost done with my cards, guys, and then I'll do John Paul Miller, charismatic, perversion, illusions, mental issue. That's what I get, allegedly. Okay, and a blank card. All right. That was a lot. I didn't realize it was so many hours. But I feel like I got a lot off my chest. And we talked about domestic violence. That's very important. I showed you my Tree of Ireland, Tree of Life cup, Ireland. Okay. Now, what I want to do is tell you my little thing, okay? But first, before I tell you my little thing, I think I've told you my story, what I believe. And I could be wrong. But I think before I say it in actual words, I'm going to do the dowsing rods. And we're going to kick it old school with the dowsing rods. I used to always do them. Then I didn't like something with them. I felt like I wasn't getting correct answers, and I kind of hung them up for a long time. I just started with them again. So let me just try to tap in, because I feel like I'm already tapped into her. I'm wired up, and I didn't really use any music this time. So let me just put you here so you could see the dowsing rods. Okay. First, I just have to ask regular questions so I know if they open or close or cross. Okay. So, can I have my spirit guides? And of course, Micah Francis Miller, could you please come? Is my name Katrina? Is my name Katrina? Spirit guides, I am open and receptive to receiving messages. Okay. Is my middle name John? Is my middle name John? Okay, that opened wide. Okay. Is Micah Francis Miller in heaven? Okay. Thank you. I don't know if you guys could see, it crosses in front of me for yes, like an X, and it opens wide for no. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. Maybe I'll put it angle like that. Okay. Is Micah Francis Miller happy in heaven? Oh, that was right away, guys. Cross in front. Okay, thank you. And spirit guides and Micah, I appreciate you being with me. I just have a couple of questions. Micah and your spirit guides of Micah, my spirit guides, did Micah commit suicide? Did Micah Francis Miller commit suicide? Okay, it said yes, but it was very slow. Okay. Micah, can I speak with you? Thank you. I appreciate that. Micah, did you go to that park to commit suicide? Okay. That was 3 yeses, guys. Let me ask it a different way. Micah, thank you so much for doing this and for helping other people who were involved in domestic violence. Micah, did you feel like you didn't have any choice? That was a yes. Okay, thank you. Micah, Micah's spirit guides as well, did John Paul Miller have anything to do with your death? That was a yes. Okay, thank you. Micah and the spirit guides, did John Paul Miller, your soon-to-be ex-husband, did he pull the trigger? That's a no. That was a wide open no. Thank you so much. That was a no and gave me a hug. That's how strong that was. Okay. Micah, did you pull the trigger? Did you pull the trigger yourself? Was there anybody with you, Micah, when you were at that park to do what you did to yourself? Was there anybody with you besides God? No. No friends or family. Did you have a friend or family with you when you were at that park? Did you have a friend or a family member with you at the park? It's 2 no's. Okay. Did you want J.P. Miller to get in trouble for what he's done? That's a strong yes. Okay. If anybody has any questions you want me to ask with the dowsing rods, tell me now, okay? Flya B says Micah needs all the help she can get so her voice could be heard. Absolutely. Don't put up with shiz, lady. See your beauty and know your worth. Absolutely, buddy. Were you alone at the park? Okay, I did say that, but let me say that again. Because remember that man heard her crying, and then the gun going off? Okay. I feel like she was talking in her head, and you know how you have the voice that says, no, don't do it. There's hope. There's always hope. Don't do it. And then the other voice that says, no, go ahead and do it. Do you want to live this way anymore? Any more days? That's what I hear. And so when she cried, she was afraid to do it. She was afraid to pull the trigger, but she felt she could never get out from underneath all the things he was doing to her. And he was going to do many more. And she knew that maybe she would go back to him too, have a weak moment and go back to him as well. She didn't want that to happen. Okay. Were you alone at the park? Okay, Sparrow Song. Thank you for coming by and thank you for being here with us. Yeah, women don't. And I didn't believe it at first, but let me just be in this zone, ask maybe two more questions, and then I will tell you what I feel. Okay. Micah, can you give us strong answers? I just heard I really wanted to do something great for the world. I really wanted to help those children in Africa or help somebody. She goes, but I couldn't help myself. Is that right? And I hear I should have listened to my family. Her family was trying to help her to get back on track. She loves them very much. If they watch this video, please know she loves her family very much and she doesn't want her family to have any more stress. She loves her sister especially and the kids, and her sister's husband was very helpful too, and also her stepdad and mom. I did tell them. I told them. Micah, why did you use a gun? Did you think about doing this for a long time? Yes, Katrina, but I always talked myself out of it. Okay. All right, Micah, before I put these down, because they take a lot of energy from me, um, will you, why did you have a sandwich? She said she was happy, but then she was glad she made a decision, and that's why she was smiling in the gun store, because she knew that she wasn't going to have any more days or nights of anguish. She had a lot of days in anguish and nights of anguish where she felt he was coming after her. Is that right? She said, you got it, Katrina. Okay. Micah, that's a good question, Leon. Um, Micah, did you have any drugs or alcohol in your system when you did that? I hear stone cold sober, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she was supposed to be on medication, taking medication, but she goes, I knew what I was doing. Oh, yeah, I did. She said when you heard my voice on the 911 call, it was just a down feeling. I didn't want to feel. She would go into depressive moods where she felt like she couldn't do anything. We've all been there, right? And she felt like she was going to get into one of those moods again, and she didn't want to feel that mood because she would get weak and then go back with him, because he would make her understand that she had no other choice, so she couldn't make that new life, and she was trying to make the new life. But when you're depressed, you go up and down, where you could see the future really good and it looks kind of bright and you're glad to be away, but then sometimes on the downward spiral, you feel like, oh, I can't make another life. I have to be with the person that I know since I'm 13. Okay. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Bambi. How you doing? Yes, this was on Micah, but it's almost over. But you could watch the replay. I'm just asking if there's any other questions that you want me to do with the dowsing rods, guys, before I put it down. She thinks that usually don't know. Okay. Okay. I just want to do a closing. Micah, may your soul have peace. All right, tell them about the God thing. Okay. Okay. 1 second, guys. I got to tell you about the angels. She told me about it earlier today. Okay. She told me about it earlier today, so I got to tell you about it. Oh, just like this. 1 second. So somebody asked about the sandwich, and I didn't know about the sandwich myself. So basically, she's saying that sandwich was because she was hungry and she was celebrating in a way. And she thought she would lose her. She thought she would lose her courage to do it, and she basically just didn't want to go to sleep and drive home and go to her apartment knowing that she has probably tracking on her car from JP Miller, and knowing that she's always being stalked, she's always being watched. She was probably going to be financially ruined even more. She was living in an apartment. She wasn't crazy about the apartment. She didn't feel safe. But she says that she did regret it. After she did it, she pulled the trigger. She did regret it because God was going to bring her another person that she was just going to date. And she was just going to really work on her mission that involved the kids, maybe even domestic violence. But she said, Katrina, he was too powerful. He kept on negating everything that I was working on, even in divorce. And then she goes, and then there was this small chance that I was going to go back again. And I just didn't want to go back. I didn't want to be weak. And so she goes, yeah, suicide is not the answer. Because I could have really just even moved in with her mother, her father, her stepfather, her sister, her brother-in-law. They helped her. And she goes, I know they would help me. I didn't feel safe in that apartment. She keeps on saying that. So there might be something in that apartment that could be very helpful for her case. So I believe she did pull the trigger. Yes, it's not likely. At first, I did not think she did. I kept on trying to show his pictures of JP and put my hand on it. And then I was like, maybe he sent somebody. But now I see the fisherman that heard her crying and then the gun go off. I listened to the tone of her voice and I listened to that 911 tape over and over again. I don't even know how many times, maybe 20 times. And what I got from it is, yes, she was very down, but she was also smirking a little bit because she knew she was going to do it. And she didn't want her family to suffer anymore. So she wanted to be found there. And I believe she researched that parks are owned by the government. And so therefore the government would have to research why there was a murder there. She said as soon as she pulled the trigger and died, she went down a tunnel that she had gone down before when she was either choked or poisoned. And she realized that life is a gift, and God, you should never take it away from yourself. She wishes that she was stronger, but God did embrace her. She did see a lot of angels that came upon her in the forest and told her, "You are not alone. And we've always been here with you." That's why she wanted me to put this picture up. She said one had dark hair like her, dark eyes, but one had light eyes and light hair. And all of them were like 6 feet. One of them, the one with dark eyes and dark hair, she said that I feel like she was like my twin. I could feel that she knew me since birth. And she said she was always trying to steer her in the right direction. But anyhow, she went through her life review, and a life review was that kind of that card that I held up where from 0 to 5 years old, what happened to her in her life, and she said it was all like strange. She thought she was being accepted, but people have to know what's wrong with churches that allow little girls and little boys to be abused and told not to talk about it because they change the chemicals in their brain. They rewire their brain to not believe in their conscience and not believe in themselves. And they put it under the guise of God. And that is such a terrible sin. And so she was like, finally, when the angels were bringing me to Jesus, Katrina, I never really knew Jesus. It wasn't the Jesus that he was teaching me and everybody about. This was somebody who held me and let me know in his hug that I didn't do anything wrong, that I was a good girl and I was a good person and a good lady. And that, of course, I'm human, and they didn't want me to hurt myself. They never want you to hurt yourself. They want you to believe in yourself and keep on pushing and go with people that love you and that make you safe because they just care about you. And they're not going to poison you with different words and make you feel evil. God doesn't want you to feel evil and bad. And that's what he's saying that these cultish church are set up for. And it's wrong. Okay, so I feel in my heart that she did buy the sandwich because she was hungry. Like she said, she had to drive it an hour. And it was around lunchtime. And she didn't want to spend another day in that anguish. And I'm sorry that, she made that choice, but God did forgive her because God sees the whole picture. Jesus sees the whole picture. How many times somebody made fun of you, how many times you gave your lunch to somebody or you helped somebody else, and he saw a lot of that with her. And the way she sang, the way she would sing, very much like Maya Millete. Remember Maya Millete? Very much similar. Like, it was almost like the angels wake up when she sings. And so that's the sad thing, that she won't be able to like there was an alternate life for her where she was going to be like a singer. She was going to be maybe even an actress, maybe even, just a delegate or somebody who promotes, helps women and people, because men could have domestic violence too, husbands, um, and just be an advocate for that and always be, talking. But she had a poetic side to her where I think she was a writer, and I think she has a lot of stuff written down that hopefully, he didn't destroy. Hopefully it could still be found. Supposedly there was a binder where she had dates and documentation of exactly incidents that had happened. But anyhow, I'm going to say a little prayer for her to rest in peace. And I thank everybody for being here for 2.5 hours. But I have to get on with my day because I have a lot of stuff to do. But I love you all. And I'm just going to say a prayer. Please, dear God, please have mercy on our beautiful, beautiful friend, Micah. And please help her to still have her hand in helping domestic violence, people that are involved in domestic violence, and help her be an angel to them, a spirit guide, if you will, and help anybody else who's struggling with that now. And please, dear God, let justice be done to anybody who has hurt her or hurt other people. Thank you, dear God. In Jesus' name, name of Father, of the Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, my mods. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Tracy, Buddy, for being here the whole time. Thank you, Forever Bella and Bayo and anybody who is here. I love you all. Charlotte, thank you. Leon, thank you all. Namaste.